as AI affects the entire world of communication. I ask people all the time in my day job and in my life, how do you think about AI? And I'll hear what you just said, which is, oh, I'm afraid it's going to take my job. And I'll turn that around and I'll say, well, how do you think AI can help you do your job better? And they'll say, well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Is a primary answer. Every once in a while, you'll catch someone who's more into tech or more into gadgets, maybe like myself and you. But most of the time, I'm not sure. And you see fear, right? You see
Yes,
people
absolutely.
who are unsure. And so I guess my question for you is, as you think about sort of this new AI-driven landscape, as you think about how that relates to communication,
Yep.
talk to me about what advice you would give to today's marketers, today's internal communications professionals who are afraid of AI. What advice would you give them to embrace AI, and how can they use that to actually do their jobs better, more efficient, more effectively? How can they become better internal communicators by embracing AI versus running away from it out of fear it's going to replace them?
It's the issue on the table for us in every profession right now, certainly for marketers. My advice has been the following, and I have been emphasizing it again and again and consistently emphasizing. As long as you're ignorant of AI, you will not only be afraid of it, you will end up losing. So first is move past that, and I'm going to flash back to, let's say 20 or 30 years ago. The internet is scary. I don't want to go on the internet. I don't know how to do this. I type www dot. Where's the dot key? People have to just move past that. And I know it's easier to say than to do. You have to get your hands on the tools. There are free tools, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Claude. There's tons of great free tools. Get your hands on the tools and be a novice. Now here's a second element of this, and this is true not just for marketers or everyone else. It's okay to acknowledge and to be a novice. We're all novices at this, right? Except for the few hundred people who are truly experts in doing prompts or doing other things, and probably a few thousand, but whatever the number is, right? The bulk of the world are novices. This is a new technology happening incredibly fast. Move past novice as quickly as possible. Right? And again, I use an example of, do you remember the first time you used Uber? Like, a stranger is going to get me in their car and take me somewhere. How do I use this thing? How do I know which stranger? How do I try? And then by the third or fourth time, you're like, okay, I'm in my Uber. I'm gone. It's like, I think I saw that guy on Serial Killers in a Month last night. Whatever. Like, you just move past that. You have to embrace playing with the tools right now. And then you have to start to think about, where can the tools fit into what you do as a marketer, as a seller, as a finance person, as a business executive, and get things faster, easier, augment it quickly. Currently, I'm working as a consultant for a few companies right now, but having left Mimecast last year, we'll see what comes next. And I use AI all the time. I use it endlessly. But one of the things that just recently it did for me was, I got an agreement back from one of my clients. It was a sort of long, complex agreement over the terms and conditions, and just used to standard SOWs and on all of those things, and then a bunch of NDAs, et cetera, et cetera. I've been reading and signing these things for 20 plus years. I usually know them. But what I did was, I took that, I gave it to Claude. I happen to use Claude as my general AI. And I said, Claude, you're a business attorney. Please review these documents and tell me the things that I should pay attention to, are unusual, or that I should ask for more clarity on. I didn't ask it to solve the problem. I asked it to augment me behaving like an attorney. I know it can make mistakes. It warns you every single time you do something. It might make mistakes. And it came back and it said, boom, boom, boom. Here are the 3 things you should ask about. And I was like, oh, I didn't catch that. I'm absolutely going to ask about those things. I asked about them. I got clarity. And that was a prime example of, I could have spent, the $400 an hour that my attorney charges me to send them the agreement, have them review it. And would they have come back with the same few things? Probably. But I didn't need to do that. So I saved myself time and money. Everyone has to think about, my job is changing, and let's roll back, right? And I'm reading a really fascinating book right now. Just to sort of give a plug for a book about the Challenger disaster. It's on the New York Times bestseller list right now. Amazing, deep, deep history of everything that led up to and came after the Challenger disaster. But one of the things that I was reading about, and I was just reading this the other day, and it about 3/4 of the way through the book, was the fact that the teams that were at the contractors had to prepare material, and they were hand drawing view graphs. Now, for those in the audience who may not know what a view graph is, like transparencies where you drew charts, right? Because this was back before everyone had a tool like PowerPoint or Excel at their desktop where they could just generate these things right up. This is the prime example of, once we all started using Excel and PowerPoint to generate charts and graphs, we kind of went crazy with it, and we probably generated too many. But we made that transformation. And yes, you're like, you know what? I can do this and it's perfect. No, it's so much faster to do it this way. AI is very much the way to do that. Like, okay, these things can get done faster. Where can I apply my brain power now? Yeah. And for communication, my final point, I know I've gone on too much on this, but I'm very passionate about the fact that for communication, I use it all the time. I happen to think, you can disagree if you want, that I'm a decent writer. I write a lot. I'm a crappy editor of my own material. I have my AI help me edit. It's like, this is just, take a look at this, clean it up, make sure everything makes sense. And those simple things make me better.
Hey, if you're getting value from today's conversation, make sure you subscribe right now so you don't miss any future episodes of the Aspire to Inspire podcast.